I just wrote this complete blog post with the help of AI. Even the images, the title, the tables, everything you see in the blog post is generated by AI. Now you might be thinking, what's special about that? You can just go to ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or any other image generation tool to generate the text and generate the image as well, and then put the blog post together. But here's the kicker. I did all of this without leaving the WordPress dashboard. So if you, like me, want to make the content creation process easy, fun, exciting, and I'd say a lot less troublesome than copying, pasting text, generating image somewhere else, then watch this video. So I did all of this in the WordPress dashboard, of course, but I used all-in-one SEO. Now you might be thinking, Yuvraj, all-in-one SEO sounds like an SEO plugin. And it is. It is the best SEO plugin out there. It has tons of features, SEO optimizer, rich snippets, smart sitemaps, local SEO. I've done, I'd say, multiple videos on the channel explaining the features, but the recent update to all-in-one SEO changed the game. They've introduced a lot of AI-related features that make your job easier. And this is what the video is about. I'm going to show you how to use those features to either take your own thoughts and create it in a blog post, entirely write blog posts, structure blog posts, create images, do everything with the help of AI faster. So let's start with this blog post, which I showed you in the beginning of the video. This is how the blog post I've created with the help of all-in-one SEO's tool. So how do you actually find the SEO tools? Of course, you'll need all-in-one SEO installed, and you'll need to have one of the pro plans available because the AI features are only available on a pro plan. And it's a credit-based system because all premium models will charge you money. So all-in-one SEO uses those in the background to help you do whatever you want. So it's a credit-based system. So instead of being charged on a fixed flat rate monthly fee, you can purchase X number of credits, and when you want more, you can always top up more credits. The more credits you buy, the, I'd say, more affordable it becomes. So that's up to you how many credits you want to use. And once you start using the pro plan, you'll get some credits to start testing those features for free as well. So you don't have to be limited to, hey, I don't want to pay money just for AI. You can try it out. If you have the pro plans, you'll get some credits. You can test it out. If you like it, you can continue. So this is the tool I wrote, or no, not the tool. This is the blog post I wrote, which has featuring of the tools. So where do you find all-in-one SEO's SEO features or AI features? Well, if you remember, if you go to the bottom of the page, usually you see AI features or all-in-one SEO's features just at the bottom here. Usually you start with the general tab where you can change the SERP preview, post title, everything else. And you can see all the tabs here with all the features of all-in-one SEO. And this is the new tab, AI content. It has many features. So let me first talk about the features. When we'll do a live demo, I'll create a new blog post from scratch using this, and we'll do some other things as well. So let's start here. So you have an AI assistant, which is the, I'd say, the most rounded, I'd say, feature here. You can do anything with it with respect to creating content. So you can give it any instructions and it'll start doing the job. Then you have the image creator, which helps you. I saw you showed you a couple of images. The social post is my favorite feature because if you create a blog post and then you think, oh, now I have to write an email as well, I have to write an X post, I have to write a post for LinkedIn as well. All that can be done right here inside all-in-one SEO, right? You can create FAQs, which help you in double ways. I'll show you how. You can extract key points, which is great for SEO and LLM visibility. So that's a key feature you should be adding to all your blog posts, and you can use it on existing blog posts as well. You have SEO titles and meta descriptions. Now, there are a lot of features. I won't be going into all the details or every feature. I'm going to talk about some key features here. So let's begin. So let's start with a couple of demonstrations. And before I start, I want to explain one key benefit of using AI inside the WordPress dashboard rather than copy pasting in any LLM. When you use the AI assistant, which I'm going to demonstrate in a second, is it is contextually aware about the blog post. So if you come here and say, add the AI assistant block here and give it instructions, it can understand the context of the blog post and then take action. So that's a huge difference, the benefit you get here. For example, if I come here and I'll demonstrate this live to you. This is the add block feature. So you can add the AI assistant block with using just this button here, which is just next to the add block button, or you can go scroll down and generate the AI assistant block here. Both work fine. As you click on it, a new block will be created. Now you can do anything with this. Think about this as access to any AI tool that you've used in WordPress directly. So you can ask it to write a conclusion, so let's do that actually. So I'll say, so I've given it specific instructions, write a 150 to 200 word conclusion for this blog post in a friendly tone. Use short sentences and no EM dashes because AI is very famous for EM dashes. And keep in mind that I have not pasted the text of the blog post. I've not done anything instructions. I'm just saying, hey, just refer or create a conclusion for this blog post, which is very easy. Let's click generate. And it's already done that. Now, one thing that I did not specify is divide it into paragraphs. And I think the length is a little too much. So let's change the prompt a little bit and regenerate the output. So I modified the prompt a little bit, and now it says write a 100 to 150 word conclusion for this blog post in a friendly tone. Use short sentences and no EM dashes, that part remains the same. Divide it into multiple smaller paragraphs for readability, and keep language to a fifth grader. Now, keep in mind that since I generated this, there's a feature or not feature, but the next step to actually saying, hey, I like this, let's insert that in the blog post, is the insert button. If you click insert, that becomes a regular piece of text, then you might have to delete it and do it again. But since I did not do it, I have the option to regenerate or just change the prompt and regenerate the output. So I can, of course, delete it or insert it or regenerate it. And since I've changed the prompt, I'll click regenerate. It'll take the same block that is just inserted and just do its magic again. And now it looks much more better, in my opinion, more readable paragraphs. And now I'm happy with it. I'll just click insert. And now it has become a staple of the blog post itself. Let's also add a heading just to clarify here. And that's it. Instead of having to do this manually, AIOSEO's AI feature did that for me amazingly well. So now you understand the basics of the AI assistant. It can work anything you like. Let me show you a couple of other features, then we'll go back to the AI assistant and I'll show you a couple of other use cases that I find very useful to do content. So let's go here. And of course, you've seen the image generator, not an action, but the output. I'll show you that as well. Let's do FAQs, key points, and other things here. I'll start with the social post because that is a huge time saver. So obviously, when you write a blog post, the way to get traffic at SEO is SEO. And then you can also distribute it manually, like posting on social media or sending it to an email list. The challenge is that you have to create content to promote the content. So it's more work. So using social post generator with AI, I'll click on this. And now I have a few options. I can choose a tone. I can choose an audience. That means what's the content or what's the ideal audience so that the language can be tweaked. And you can change this in the settings to have this default set. So the default is formal, but you have analytical, concise, empathetic, friendly, formal, humorous, informal, informative. So tons of ways you can write, or whatever tone fits your narrative, your language, your style is the one you can choose. So it's built in. So let's keep it at the basic, I'd say beginner friendly one. So let's find friendly. And the audience also you can select because based on the audience you have. You can have general. If you have like writing medical blogs, then you might have to do academic, beginners, business, creative, and there's a lot more to pick from again. For this kind of blog post, I'll stick with the beginner and novices. And now I can choose whatever pieces of content I want to create. I want to create a LinkedIn post because it's text-based, Twitter because it's text-based. I want to add email as well. And let's do Facebook as well. And I select this and all I do is just click and sit back and relax. And in just a few seconds, you'll see content for all these will be created by the AIOSEO AI feature. And it's done already. Now I see the LinkedIn post, I see the Twitter post, I see the marketing email, and I see the Facebook post with appropriate links already added. All I have to do is copy, paste, and send along. Magic. And do keep in mind that if you close the window, then all that is not lost. You won't have to spend credits again. Just come back here, click on it, and whatever you generated is already here. Don't click back. Otherwise, I don't know if you can go back, but just copy and paste it and just do the actions immediately. Next, let's check out the FAQ feature because it's very important, not from the perspective of readability, user satisfaction, but two more features, which is ranking higher in Google search because people also ask kind of sections still prominent on desktop and mobile. And most important, it's great for LLM discoverability because that's the way people are interacting with LLMs. They're asking specific questions. So if your blog post answers that question, much higher ranking chances or being just found in LLM search or whatever the discoverability term is. So I deleted the FAQs I already created because I want to demonstrate it again. So below the conclusion, I'll place the pointer on the screen where I want to generate the FAQ. This is easy because you won't have to move stuff again. Then we'll scroll down to the FAQ section. I'll click generate FAQs and now it'll instantly generate. I think I already generated. So these are the existing ones that are generated, but I can also always regenerate it. And what it'll do is it'll scan the blog post and based on the blog post written, it'll give me 5 more suggestions. So I'll just click here to regenerate and you'll see in a few seconds, I'll have new FAQs added. So here are new FAQs and I can select one or more or all of them to insert it in the blog post. So I'll click all of them, select like this, and I'll insert the FAQ blocks. And it's done. I didn't have to do any work, all with the intelligence of AI. Now I have FAQs. And the important part here is these are not just paragraph blocks. These are actually FAQ blocks. So if I click here, if you pay attention here, this is an FAQ block. That means it's metadata also being added to your blog post, which is great for Google to understand what your blog post is about, great for LLMs to understand what your blog post is about. So not just basic paragraph blocks, but FAQ blocks with the help of AI. no work done. Let's also explore the key points block. The key points is like, hey, a kind of a summary of the blog post. Great for understanding if users come and they say, hey, this is the key segments included, more as a confirmation that they have landed on the right, I'd say, blog post. And then great for LLM discoverability as well. So let me show you how that feature works. Once again, I've made space and placed my cursor at the point where I know I want to add the key summaries, typically at the beginning of the blog post, not at the end. So I'll scroll down to the bottom and here's the key points. I'll click here and I already tried it. So that's why you see it. I can always go back and now I can select again the same things that you can select with other text generation, which is the tone and the audience. I'll keep the tone friendly and the audience as beginners. And I'll just do this again. And now we have key points. Let's insert all the key points here. I'll select all of them. And now key points are properly inserted with bullet points with proper bolding headlines. So if anybody comes to your blog post, immediately sees the key headline and you can go into the background option here, give it a different kind of background. Let's say I do this here and then text is white. Oops, not this. And I can change the text to white. Gives it a little bit of contrast. Of course, you can match it to your brand colors. Anybody landing a page, they instantly see, hey, this is what the things are covered in the blog post. Instant hooked, and then they can read the entire as a blog post. Let's also check out the image block. Technically, you've seen the output of the image block, but there's several options inside the image block I want to demonstrate. So let's go to the bottom and you have the image block right here, image generator. Let's click on it. Here, of course, you have to enter a prompt and you can always take help of another AI tools, or you can just write a simple prompt. You have the quality. Depending on the quality you choose, you might be charged different credits. You also have the style. That means what kind of look do you want, and aspect ratio. So let me write a simple prompt here and then we'll proceed. So I've inserted a simple prompt. You can read it on screen. Very simple. I've described the lighting condition, described the scene, who's standing, how, and I've chosen the quality to be high and I've chosen the style to be stock photo. Let me show you the different kinds of styles there are. So you can choose and let the model decide. That's auto. Then you have 3D render, which I've used in one of the images. I'll show you that. Cinematic, creative, illustration, minimalist, stock photo, and vibrant. So I've chosen stock photo because it will look natural, and the aspect ratio can be chosen between 3:2, 2:3, and 1:1. For normal blog post, 3:2 is a decent aspect ratio, so I'd suggest you stick with it unless you are specifically creating images for vertical formats. So once it's done, let's click Generate Image. And here's this image generated. Let me insert it into the blog post. And now you can see how properly, or I say how close the image is to the exact prompt I described. Woman with the home garden, beautiful looking home garden, some tools. There's some mishaps with the image. The water sprinkler is coming in front of her leg. That's all right. It's an AI generated image. Beautiful lit. And I think this looks pretty good. So that's how the image generator also works. You can use it to create illustrations. So featured images for a blog post, actual stock-like images, a lot of things. And just to clarify, this image is the one I created with a 3D render look. So you can see it looks 3D. And there's another image I created here, which looks, I think I chose the cinematic mode here. So this is how it looks like, the look overall for a cinematic look. So plenty of options to use the stock image creator. Let me go into some details about the AI assistant, which will help you write the content faster in however way you like. So I've created a new blog post completely blank so that I can show you the possibilities, and not the possibilities, but how you want to use with the AI assistant is completely up to you. You can write entire blog posts that you like. For example, what I do is when I'm writing something, I usually just scatter my thoughts using the keyboard. I don't write in a very well structured manner. I go off on tangents. So what I can do is I can write entire thing and ask the assistant to organize and structure the content in a manner that I like. This would probably be my workflow, but what I want to demonstrate is whatever your preference is when creating content, the AI assistant comes to you. So let me give you a couple use cases you can start with. So let's choose the AI assistant here. And what I'll ask you to do is write me an outline of the things I should write about for a specific topic. So once again, sticking with the theme of gardening, but you can replace the theme with anything else. I've given it a prompt. Give me a 10-point outline for a blog post I want to write for beginners on the topic, how to start gardening at home. The outline can include questions, approaches, everything you think beginners need to know to start gardening. Let's insert the prompt or trigger the prompt or generate the prompt output and see what happens. And in just a few seconds, it's done. So it already gave me a title, did not paste it in the right section. When I insert it, I can copy the title and paste it in the title. Then why should you start gardening? Choosing the right space, useful topic, picking easy plants for beginners, understanding tools, soil plants, and it's a pretty decent outline in my opinion. And of course, you can change the outline to, hey, 10 to 20 points, but I think it's a good starting point. Now, if you want to write the content yourself, that's completely up to you. But what you can ask it to do is expand on something or do something. So what I'll do is insert this section here, go to the top, cut, and add it to the title so that we have this here. Then I'll ask it to write an introduction. So I'll choose the AI assistant. I'll say, so here's the prompt I've written. Write me an SEO optimized intro for this blog post. The keyword to aim for is how to start gardening at home. User-friendly tone, language fit for 10-year-olds, around 200 words, short sentences, and divide it, but LLM will figure it out, and divide into short paragraphs. Try to incorporate the biggest concern people have about gardening. This is my own thing I added, that hey, if the intro starts with the most important concern people have, then they might be able to think, hey, this is for me. And I also added a specific touch that you can add based on your experience. I have not had that experience, but showing the prompt that you can write, which is add my experience of home gardening for 5 years in it too. So whatever you're writing about, and if you have experience, you can just tell the LLM and you can describe the experience in a lot more detail so that you can incorporate that in here. So this is not meant to be an AI writer for you. It's called the AI assistant for a reason. So it helps you write faster. So let's do that and let's generate the output of this prompt. And the output is here. So let's check it out. So instead, thinking about learning how to start gardening at home, that's a great idea. Gardening is fun, can make your home beautiful. Plus, it's good for you too. I've been gardening at home for over 5 years and I love watching my plants grow. Pretty interesting. The next paragraph is where it adds the main objection. Many people worry that they don't have enough space or don't know where to start. That's totally normal. The good news is you don't need to have a big yard to begin. So that's pretty amazing. It adheres to the prompt very specifically. So as I said, you don't have to rely on the LLM to come up with the content. You can say, hey, this is what I want to write, and just write it. So I asked it to enter the most important objection, but you could have shared that, hey, these are the top 5 objections that I want to answer in this blog post, which can be part of the outline, part of the intro, part of the conclusion, part of the FAQ, and anything else. So the AI assistant, think of it as an experienced writer who works only on your instructions. This is pretty awesome, right? So that's what the new AI features in One SEO help you do. Write content, create images, write FAQs, write summaries of the blog post, and create social media content all at a fingertips with click of a few buttons instead of having to spend your time. If you have any questions about AIOSEO, then leave it in the comments. The link to AIOSEO and the AI features, I'll link it in the description. You can go check it out. I'll place it on the screens here as well. And of course, make sure to subscribe and hype our channel, do all that good stuff to make sure it reaches the right audience. And you're watching Yuvraj from W Beginner. I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.